Welcome to the Wed Pro podcast, the podcast for Wed Pros no matter their stage. We are your hosts, Katie and Roxy, and this is the Wed Pro podcast.
September is finally here and the kids are back at school. Well, mine aren't back at school yet, but I can see the day when they are. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. Festivals, garden parties are a distant memory. And with those earlier, darker nights comes that energy, the back to school reset. I am here for it. And the leaves are falling off the trees in the UK. I've noticed that too. But guess what? That's exactly the energy that wedding businesses need, right? Because Q4 is not the time to slow down. It's time to set yourself up for booking season domination. And you said it in our Slack group this week. You were like, it's like the business new year. Is that what you said? Yeah, and a few emails that I sent this week. September feels like business new year, like new planners, new diaries, new energy. And I know that we've been busy over the summer. However, January is the biggest month for contract signing. But how do you even show up in January at your strongest? That's what we're covering today. This window now matters. This last quarter of the year matters. So we're going to look at what actually does change and how what we're doing in November can help you get to where you want to be come January. Okay, so let's just break it up a little bit. If we're thinking ahead, and I know when we come back to September, we're thinking, oh my word, back in the business, lots of things, maybe looking at those goals that you set back in the start of the year, but feeling, maybe a little bit overwhelmed as to where you're going. This episode is for you. This episode is going to tell you exactly where you need to focus on. But first, really what we're looking at right now, and we tend to do this in our business, don't we, quite often, we look at 90-day sprints. Yeah. So we look at 90-day sprints for a number of reasons. It helps you stay motivated with your goal. It's not too far away, so your brain doesn't shut off. Sometimes when we set goals that are really far in the future, our brains disassociate from them slightly. So
not too far in the future to...
Yeah, it's really good for motivation purposes, but also good as well because then we can look at data. And the more you run in these 90-day sprints, and this is what we encourage our clients to do with us, the more the data stacks up and the more then we can see what's working and what isn't working. So now when we're thinking towards the end of the year, we're breaking it down. We've got Christmas proposals coming up.
The C word.
I mean, it's in the shops everywhere already.
I know. It's happening, guys.
And then we've got New Year's Eve. Engagement season is coming, right?
It is. And those couples that are in this engagement season are going to be hitting the ground running in January. And that's where the contracts get signed. That's when it happens. Data shows that January is the single biggest month for wedding contracts across the industry. And the second biggest, that's March. This is because of the second wind for couples who might have been that wait and see vibe over Christmas. Oh yeah, we'll get Christmas out the way and then we'll start planning. But yeah, January is where it's happening.
Yeah, and also for March as well, the second biggest, well, actually the biggest day of the year is Valentine's Day engagement. So that second wind there with March, contracts being signed, it comes from those engagements as well. But also the length of period now in terms of an engagement to wedding roughly runs at about 12 to 18 months again. So couples that have got through this summer, maybe been to other weddings, maybe looked at what their friends have done, kind of wanted to get that season out of the way before they really focus on their own wedding, and now looking at it. And this is the deal. If you're not visible now, if you're not putting strategies into your business now in terms of how to be visible, but not only how to be visible, but how to use that visibility to get booked, you're going to miss that spike. Couples, don't all of a sudden get engaged and book the first person that turns up on their Instagram, right? They start scrolling, they're shortlisting, they're saving inspiration. And this next quarter is where you can start to be kind of getting into their hearts, getting into their feeds and their inboxes so that all the algorithms are saying, hey, this person's content is amazing. Somebody else starts looking at engaged stuff and your stuff springs right up.
And you might be thinking, the summer's done now. Now it's time to just have a little bit of a chill, right? But you can't do that. September to December, it feels like it's that vibe of switching off, but this is where you need to be turning it up, not turning it down, right?
Yeah, do you know what? I don't get that energy, actually. I actually spring back into September like, yes, kids are at school,
Waiting for the kids to go back, and then it's bang.
Yeah, I call it like the kick-ass end of the year. Like, really come in like guns focus. And, you know, part of this will be because we have an event that happens in this quarter of the year. So we're very much making decisions for that. And
I actually think about November a lot more than I think about December and Christmas. Like, no.
Yeah. I will actually my kids' birthdays or
those other events.
It's way up there. Yeah, we probably say November more than any other one. But I really come back at this part of the year like really motivated. I don't know what happens to me, but I come back and I think, right, what do I want to get done? What do I want to get achieved? Really, because I'm thinking about next year, and I know that I want to hit the ground running in 2026. I don't want to be then start in January thinking, oh, what do I want from the year? I want to have thought about it. Am I on track? What needs to be changed? And I think the thing is, like, really, if you're coasting now, come January, things aren't going to look how you want them to in your business. Because, you know, something that we do say quite often and something that we live by really when we're looking at either making decisions in our business or looking at potentially making some changes is nothing changes if nothing changes. Like, if you keep doing things and keep doing quarter four, September, right the way through to December, how you've always done it, January is going to look the same as last January and the same as the January before that. Maybe overwhelm, scrambling for bookings, last minute bookings, and that's not what we want from you. And silence from couples. Like, we want you to be thinking about opening the diary in 2026, confident that you've already got most of your season booked, and actually looking into, okay, how do I fill up those last few dates of 2026? And also be looking into the diary 2027, 2028 and having bookings for those years as well, right?
Right. Instead, we need to use this time and flip that narrative. It's not, as I've said, it's not time to just like, oh, brilliant, let's just chill. Like, the stuff that you do in your business now, you're going to be seeing the results in like a few months' time. So it's really important. So treat these months a bit like a prep season. It's your revision window. The real work starts now, or your next year will start on that back foot. And you don't want that. You don't want the same old stuff, do you? Like, you are here, you listen to this podcast because you want to have a successful wedding business, and this is how you do it.
And the thing is, the most successful businesses are planning in advance, right? And actually, I finished the book. Woohoo! That's inspired. You did so much of it over you had a holiday, didn't you, last month? And I did so much of it. It was like, oh my word, I pulled out some long days that week when you were away because it was
so proud. It was a lot. I admire you. You're an inspiration because it would take me 14 years to write a book.
It took me 8 months. And that really is the difference between success and unsuccessful businesses. You know, the successful businesses don't have loads and loads of some secret sauce that is unavailable to the rest of us. So it's actually more just about forward planning and thinking about working with the business with structure and looking at things, forward planning, looking at data, looking at, okay, what did I do this time last year? What did I do over the last 90 days that I've done? What's worked? What hasn't? And yeah, this is a massive part of the book. And what we do see in terms of our clients that we work with and the people that go on to build really, really successful 6- and 7-figure businesses, it really is in this planning stage and really taking a step back and thinking, okay, what it is that I want? Not only what do I want sort of tomorrow or this week, and not only what do I want out of my business kind of long term, but also really doing things in sprints. And quite a lot of the book, and in terms of some of the points that I've made in the book, isn't necessarily anyone doing anything particularly different. And it doesn't really matter what the plan looks like or what the system looks like. What matters is that you have a plan and you have a system and you're not just going in winging it. So yeah,
the wall.
yeah, not a favorite phrase, but yeah, I think this is the first time I've actually said that out loud on a podcast. I have finished the book. It's gone to the editors and publishers. So I'm in this kind of happy phase right now where I'm like, okay, I can breathe and relax. The book is finished. Well, the book is finished for now because I'm sure the editor who's got my phone number, by the way, messages me all the time, is going to come back with a lot. But I'm in this like happy period right now where I'm like it's a
little bit of closure on that stage.
8 months of work, 8 months of frameworks that we teach, everything that we do, in the Wedding Business Hub, what we do with our clients, really out of my head and onto paper. So yeah, like big tick for that, really.
I just had a thought, but it doesn't matter. I'll tell you off pod. Because you'll be like, absolutely not. Is it going to be as an audiobook, Katie?
I like the idea of getting...
I thought I'd just say it on pod.
I have looked into it, but let's just get it out. Let's just get whatever changes this editor is going to write back to me. I mean, it's not the first book I've published. We've published a couple now. However, this is the first time I was like, right, I'm going to get an editor involved because the stuff that I'm going into in the book in terms of the frameworks that we use and the systems and strategies that we use in order for you to have a wedding business that you love to run, and that is giving you a little bit of a hint as to what it's going to be about. Between me and you, or talking face to face to a client, is so much more different than writing it on paper.
Getting it down on paper and making it make sense.
But making it make sense to somebody that may never have had a conversation with me or you. So yeah, you were on holiday a couple of weeks ago, weren't you? And I really just cracked on. I think at that point I'd got 3 chapters to go or 2.5 chapters to go. And I started it. It's really funny because I started it in January and like smashed out a couple of chapters. And then it's been quite like paced and quite slow. And then at the end, it's gone again. But yeah, looking forward to that kind of coming out. But anyway, we digressed ever so slightly there. But my point was, the wedding businesses and all businesses actually that do well are the ones that have systems, the ones that have structure, the ones that have a plan. It doesn't matter what systems, what structure, what plan. The point is that you have them. And then let's just talk about why and what that practically looks like inside of your business. So if we're thinking about things like content and algorithms, your website and socials don't just flip on to being 2026 ready on January the 1st, right? Crawlers need time. That's the stuff, the bots that crawl your website to get your content in front of the people that are searching for it. Instagram and TikTok feeds need consistent posts that are of interest as well to be able to rank and to show up.
Yeah, and this is what I mean by like the stuff that you do now in your business, it's going to take a month or 2 for it to kick in. And that's why use Q4 as like your almost tactical season. Schedule content consistently. Experiment with what lands. Maybe it's behind the scenes clips from your styled shoots, a project spotlight, video testimonials, trending audios. The traction builds now. So by the time January's coming round, your profile is magnetic.
Yeah, and also thinking about going and tidying up the website as well. Like, when was the last time you changed some of the images on that? There will be wording either in proposals or in documents that you've got or contracts that you've got or on your site that says the wrong date on them. They're very easy to not notice when you're looking at this stuff every day. On your bio, have you changed that to reflect the season that we're going to go into? And also think about, in this season, getting involved in some style sheets and also wedding fairs as well. The style sheet and even your wedding fairs, we used to get loads of content from wedding fairs, didn't you? These kinds of things are going to fuel your content. They're going to build your portfolio, build those images and that style so that your clients can really get a good understanding of what it is that you do. It's going to spark visibility with potential referrals. And, by doing style shoots, you're going to be able to show exactly what you can create and that you can create that vibe that your couples are wanting to hire you for.
Plus, and don't sleep on this, networking. So now's the time when you can reach out, meet your peers, pull some collaborations together and build your ecosystem. These relationships translate into referrals and guest slots and getting your name out there.
Yeah, for sure. And that's exactly where Wedcon comes in. We are now less than 90 days away and tickets are selling, they're flying, but we still do have some available and we want to make it bigger and better than last year, don't we, Roxy? It's not just another event. It's going to absolutely change your quarter four.
Absolutely. Imagine strategy sessions, live. Sorry, what is that?
It's ChatGPT and it's having a spaz. So you know what happens at Wedcon. Just flow it out live. Speakers.
So imagine this, we've got strategy sessions, we've got the most incredible industry experts coming live to you, fresh inspiration, peer energy, and loads of real tools and strategies to get your business moving forward.
Yeah, we're going to be delving into things like content, pricing, marketing. You are going to walk out already ahead from other wedding professionals. Wedcon isn't just a nice place to be at with a bit of motivation. It's going to be your strategic advantage. You're going to leave the day with clarity, a plan to get you moving inside of your business, ideas, referrals, partnership. Yes, you're going to leave with some energy as well. And we are going to give you a to-do list, but it's a to-do list that is going to actually turn into bookings.
Absolutely. And it's why the folks who go to Wedcon are actually smashing their Januaries. They're arriving in January ahead of the game, not scrambling. Their content's sorted, their website's sharp, their strategy is on point, and they've already started following up with couples already.
Yeah. So if you want to be at Wedcon on November the 26th in Shrewsbury, head to www.wedcon.co.uk. We can't wait to hang with you all day and to be sharing some of the amazing things we've got planned for you.
We cannot wait.
Okay, let's have a chat in terms of what couples are actually doing in this last sort of quarter of the year. A massive 13% of all engagements happen around December. A massive 13% of engagements happen in December, and then they do filter into early next year, fueling that January peak as well. But actually, more than 50% of proposals happen between sort of December to just past Valentine's Day, which is so important to be getting all of this stuff in your business right now.
Not called engagement season for nothing, guys. And let's not forget as well, 50% of couples are taking about 12 to 18 months to plan their weddings. So right now, they're scribbling in their diaries, saving inspo, and deciding what they want. And if you're not showing up now, you're not going to be in that plan of theirs, are you?
No, and this is exactly why, messaging matters, content matters, your branding matters. You're not chasing inquiries. That's not what we do. That's not what we teach you to do. You want to be positioning yourself as that go-to supplier in your niche before your couples even reach out to you.
Okay, so let's have a recap of what you can be doing now to get yourself ahead of the game. So you need to be treating quarter four like the prep season, not the downtime. This is not time to just kick back and chill. Yes, a little bit of that, but let's think about this. I think as well, in terms of that, it isn't about overwhelming you with loads of stuff to do. It's actually about just going through. And this is why I can't explain, yes, the first 90-day sprint might be a bit difficult in terms of thinking about working in a different way, or maybe you're looking at a few different moving parts in your business. But the more you do sprints like this, the more you start to see patterns. And what we teach you to do inside of our programs and what we teach our clients to do is then to be able to spot what levers it is to pull. So actually, it's not really about doing more, it's about doing the right things. That's it, yeah.
And you're already doing loads anyway. Everybody in this industry is already doing loads. We are not a lazy get rich quick industry. We're all busy. We work hard. We put all of ourselves into the weddings that we do. It's not about, oh my word, more. It's actually about pulling the levers of the right things. So in terms of that, Roxy, what are the right things that people can be doing?
So audit and refresh your branding, your content, your inquiry process. Create a schedule for your content. So your style shoots, get them on your stories, get your TikToks planned out. Think about your email marketing and what's that going to look like. Also, network. Come to Wedcon, obviously, but build collaborations.
Yeah, that email marketing is a really important one. And for those of you that have got wedding fairs planned for this next quarter, it's ensuring that that is really doing its job, because we see and hear so many of the people that have worked with us in their email marketing come back and say to us, oh, somebody met me at a fair 12 months ago, or somebody I saw in a fair in January is now come and booked me. And this is like 8 months on, 9 months on. So that stuff works, but you have to put the gears in motion. It's not going to appear from anywhere. Nothing changes if nothing changes, guys. Networking, building collaborations, making sure that they are structured collaborations, that you've thought about a strategy there as well. Showing up at Wedcon to lock in the right strategy, the right things to be doing, and that momentum as well. And if you do start now, you plan now and you act now, your January and March bookings, they don't just happen by chance. They happen because you showed up when it mattered and you were doing the work when it mattered.
And what I love about what you said about, it's not about like reinventing the wheel. It's just about doing the right things, having the right strategies.
It's not about more.
Not this.
Yeah. It's not about more. It's about less of the things that take your eye off the stuff that moves the needle. So it's about like removing those things that actually don't move your business forward. They might be the stuff that Instagram gurus in Vogue maybe telling you to do, but actually they don't move the needle in your business. But yeah, the stuff that is going to move, especially when we look at the start of next year, and what I don't want to hear next year, which we will hear, will be people moaning that the year's got off to a slow start. It won't, and it
will if you don't do anything.
Yeah, it will if you don't do anything. It's about now making sure that you're visible in the right places, that you are things are tidy. We land on so many websites where things are just not tidy at all, or Instagrams that aren't tidy, that you've got a plan so that you're not like scrambling around come January or missing the boat thinking, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. That's why the people that show up at Wedcon go into January with a plan, a consistent structure, something to follow, tangible, that will get them results, right?
Oh my God, I'm so excited for Wedcon. Look at it. And it's going to be amazing. You guys, you've totally got this. If you weren't serious about your wedding business, you would not be listening to this podcast in the first place. But definitely check out Wedcon. If you're even considering it, have a chat with us, like to kind of get a feel for what it's like, because you will take so much away from it and it will give you that fire in your business to keep, moving forward. You've got this. We are really looking forward to seeing so many of you in a couple of months. Hopefully you come back into September with that back to school energy as well. Please, please, please do share this with a wedding pro that you know. We'd love to get our podcast out to a few more people, wouldn't we, Roxy? And to see a few new faces at Wedcon as well. Definitely share this with any wed pros that you think, oh yeah, they'll love this. And also, we know that so many of you that listen to this podcast do not follow, do not subscribe it. So do hit that button, because then you get the brand new episodes first before anyone else. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye. Bye. Get it back at school, yes.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Wed Pro podcast. Full transcribes of this episode, plus every other episode we have done, are available at www.theweddingbusinesshub.com/blogs. Thanks so much for listening. If you do have any questions about this episode or anything else at all, you can email us at info@theweddingbusinesshub.com. And if you are loving our episodes, which I know you are, make sure you hit the subscribe or follow button so you can stay updated with any new episodes that land. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.